The third season of the American television drama series Homeland premiered on September 29, 2013 on Showtime, and concluded on December 15, 2013, consisting of 12 episodes. The series is loosely based on the Israeli television series Hatufim created by Gideon Raff and is developed for American television by Howard Gordon and Alex Gansa. Cast and characters. Main cast: Claire Danes as Carrie Matheson, a CIA intelligence officer assigned to the Counterterrorism Center. Damian Lewis as Nicholas Brody, a U.S. Marine sergeant and a Marine scout sniper who was rescued by Delta Force after being held by al-Qaeda as a prisoner of war for 8 years. Rupert Friend as Peter Quinn, a CIA Black Ops SOG SAD operative. Marina Baccarin as Jessica Brody, Nicholas Brody's wife. Jackson Pace as Chris Brody, Nicholas Brody's son. Morgan Saylor as Dana Brody, Nicholas Brody's daughter. Sarah Tewksbury as Myra Berenson, Saul's estranged wife. Tracy Letts as Senator Andrew Lockhart, the power-hungry, authoritative and commanding committee chairman. F. Murray Abraham as Dara Dahl, a retired Black Ops specialist. Mandy Patinkin as Saul Berenson, formerly the CIA's Middle East Division chief and the new acting director. He is Carrie's old boss and mentor. Recurring cast: Nazanin Bonayadi as Farah Shirazi, an intelligent young and professional Persian analyst. Sean Tao as Majid Javadi, the Iranian deputy intelligence chief who masterminded the Langley bombing. William Abadi as Alan Bernard, an international journalist. Tim Guinee as Scott Ryan, in charge of CIA Special Ops. James Rebhorn as Frank Matheson, Carrie's father. Sam Underwood as Leo Carras, a new friend of Dana, unregistered trademark S with a troubled past. David Marciano as Virgil, Carrie's contact. William Sadler as Mike Higgins, the White House Chief of Staff. Maury Sterling as Max, Virgil's brother. Gary Wilms as Dr. Richardson, a psychiatrist helping Dana Brody cope with recent events. Martin Donovan as Leland Bennett, a partner in a Washington, D.C., law firm. Amy Hargreaves as Maggie Matheson, Carrie's sister and a psychiatrist. Harshang Tuzi as General Danesh Akbari, the Iranian intelligence chief. Diego Klatenhoff as Mike Faber, a U.S. Marine major. He was Nicholas's best friend who, assuming Nicholas was dead, began an affair with his wife. Plot: the beginning of the season presents the aftermath of a terrorist attack committed by Abu Nazir's people. Carrie is blamed for the CIA's failings as Senator Lockhart grills Saul, now acting director of the CIA, in front of the Senate committee. However, it turned out to be part of a bigger plot, as Saul had Carrie seemingly disavowed by the CIA to lure a senior Iranian intelligence officer Majid Javadi into becoming a CIA asset. He later relayed the information to Carrie that the main perpetrator of the bombing was still in the U.S., and the CIA acted to bring the real bomber and the officer's lawyers into questioning. As the Brody family struggles to live within their means amidst Brody's terrorist status, Brody himself is in hiding in Caracas, Venezuela, effectively being held prisoner by his captors until Saul's arrival. Following a gunshot wound to the torso, Brody becomes addicted to the heroin given to him as a painkiller. Saul eventually rescues him, detoxifies him, and recruits him for a mission, to go to Iran and use his notoriety as the Langley bomber to get close to the current head of the Revolutionary Guard, Danesh Akbari, to assassinate him. After Brody publicly declares that he is seeking asylum in Iran, he is taken to meet Akbari but fails to get close enough to assassinate him. Assuming that Brody will never have another opportunity to complete his mission, senior CIA officers order his assassination. However, with help from Carrie, Brody escapes and goes to meet Akbari himself, claiming to possess sensitive information about Javadi. During the meeting, Brody strikes Akbari and suffocates him to death. Carrie takes him to a safe house but Lockhart, now CIA director, gives up their location to the Revolutionary Guard in order to increase Javadi's chances of being promoted. Brody is then publicly hanged. Lockhart refuses to place a star on the memorial wall to commemorate Brody, so Carrie draws one on the memorial wall. Episodes. Production: On October 22, 2012, Homeland was renewed for a third season, consisting of 12 episodes, which premiered on September 29, 2013. Production for the third season began in late May 2013, continuing production in Charlotte, North Carolina. The series also filmed in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, which stood in for Caracas, Venezuela. The series was also planning on returning to Israel for additional filming, but filming moved to Morocco, due to ongoing conflicts in Syria. The third season has 3 previous guest actors: Rupert Friend, F. Murray Abraham and Sarah Tuchud promoted to series regulars. Tracy Letts joined the cast playing Senator Andrew Lockhart, chairman of Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, as a series regular. Diego Clattenhoff and David Marciano, who portray Mike Faber and Virgil, do not return as series regulars, but return in a recurring capacity. Barbara Hall joined as co-executive producer, after Meredith Steeham left. James Yoshimura also joined as a writer and consulting producer. Writer Henry Brummel, who died on March 18, 2013, is credited as executive producer for the whole season. Leslie Linker Glatter, who directed the Season 2 episode Q&A, and former 24 co-executive producer and writer Patrick Harbinson both joined as co-executive producer. Michael Click, who was credited as producer in the first 2 seasons, was promoted to co-executive producer. Claire Danes became a producer beginning with the third season. Former series writer Meredith Steeham rejoined the writing staff near the end of the third season, including co-writing the season finale, after departing Homeland to write for her new TV series The Bridge. Steeham will continue with the series through the 4th season and potential 5th season as well. Reception, ratings. In its 3rd season, Homeland became the first series on Showtime to surpass 7 million total viewers weekly. The season finale, The Star, was the highest-rated episode of the series to date, with 2.38 million viewers for the original broadcast. Critical response. The 3rd season has received generally positive reviews, with a Metacritic score of 77 out of 100, based on 23 reviews. Tim Goodman of The Hollywood Reporter wrote that the first 2 episodes of the season restored his faith in the series, and that the emphasis on Carrie and Saul has strengthened the series, and that the writing and acting in the first 2 episodes are exceptional. Robert Rourke of Newsday wrote that the 3rd season premiere Homeland delivers a strong episode that repairs much of the damage done last season to this excellent show, and in balancing action with character development, Homeland offers something for everyone. The performances, as usual, are excellent. Robert Bianco of USA Today praised that the series is focusing on the aftermath of the CIA bombing, and wrote the result of the change of focus is a return that's quieter than the tone Homeland set when it left us, but just as intense, and when Danes is on screen just as emotionally wrenching. Matthew Wolfson of Slate wrote showing us the long-term impact of the attack on the lives of these characters, whose deep-seated motivations and fears have gradually been revealed to us over the last 2 seasons, allows Homeland to transcend its tendencies toward the hyperbolic and gives us a reason to suspend our disbelief. However, some critics had negative reviews for the season. Morven Crumlish of The Guardian found it tedious. A half-absorbed piece of fiction will leave the characters floundering in their mid-arc torpor. With no end in sight, though, Carrie and Brody can flounder without me. Gerard O'Donovan of the Daily Telegraph agreed, the ludicrous plot contortions of this year's Sony unregistered trademark's early episodes had all been such a mess. Awards and nominations. The season was nominated for Best Drama Series for the 2014 Writers Guild of America Awards. For the 20th Screen Actors Guild Awards, the cast was nominated for Best Drama Ensemble, Claire Danes was nominated for Best Drama Actress, and the series was nominated for Best Stunt Team. For the 66th Primetime Emmy Awards, Claire Danes is nominated for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series and Mandy Patinkin is nominated for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. References. External links, official website, list of Homeland episodes at the Internet Movie Database, list of Homeland episodes at TV.com.